You are now listening to LauerRoadRadio.
Hey, welcome one and all to the #1 podcast, winter, spring, and fall. Talking sports for the thrill of it all. Hey, talking life, but we're killing it all. Jason and Dan with the master plan. These are dangerous men with the mic in the hand. Ha. Bonafide winners everywhere that we go. You're a part of the team.
LauerRoadRadio.
Dad light, thug light, bright lights in sight. All right. What? Dad light, thug light, bright lights in sight. All right. Yeah. Dad light, thug light, bright lights in sight. All right. Bonafide winners everywhere that we go. You're a part of the team.
LauerRoadRadio.
Let's get it.
What? At Tanagra, when the walls fell, this is Dan Owings coming at you another time for Lauer Road Radio with my co-host, as always, Jason. How you doing today?
Good.
You got some coffee out.
Well, it was in my bag. Mm-hmm. This is what I drank last week. I had the Dunkin' Original Blend.
It's quality.
It was very good. Mm-hmm. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
And medium roast. I also bought the Starbucks Veranda.
It's a blonde roast.
Yeah.
Of their coffees, it's a better one. I'm not typically a huge Starbucks guy, but they have a ton of different beans and roasts and things. So
I just like different stuff.
A friend of mine just gave me 2 kinds of Black Rifle coffee. One called Just Black,
okay,
which is brewed to be drinking black. And the guy that gave it to me said, "I don't drink black coffee, but I drink this black."
Okay.
And then another one's called Silencer Smooth, which is a lighter thing. So I haven't opened the bags yet because I'm still working through my old coffee, but I'm pretty excited.
Have you ever had Death Wish?
No, but it's so expensive. I want to know.
It's like $20.
It's like $20 for a bag, like
pouch.
Smaller than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to buy it.
I want to get it. I've just been watching, like at Kroger, every time I go to Kroger, I just wait to see.
Sale eventually.
One of these days, it'll be at like, if it was half off, I'd pay $10 for it just because I...
Listen, I'm going to buy it sometime. Mm-hmm. We'll drink it.
Okay.
I just bought a new type of coffee. Mm-hmm. It's 40% coffee, 60% chicory. Have you heard this?
I've heard of this.
Yes. So chicory is a root. Mm-hmm. It's a plant. Mm-hmm. And so they take the root and they chop it up and roast it. Mm-hmm. It's brewed very, very much like it is coffee. I mean, it tastes just like coffee. It's caffeine free, but it provides certain, I think they're called prebiotics.
Nutrients.
It is. So it helps your stomach digest. Mm-hmm. And it's a healthy drink. During the Depression, they cut coffee with chicory.
A lot of innovations during the Depression.
Yeah.
That's the part about the Depression they don't talk about very much.
Yeah.
Everybody says how bad it was, but look how many good things came from it. So
chicory.
Maybe the Depression wasn't so bad after all. As someone who didn't live through it.
Yeah. So anyways, that's good. I'll bring that for you sometime to drink.
I'd like to try it. I'm skeptical, but I'd like to try it.
It's pretty bitter. Like it's pretty bitter.
You like a bitter.
I do like the bitter.
Yeah.
I also cut it with some heavy cream.
Yeah,
because a little bit of heavy cream goes a long way.
If coffee's bitter or not particularly strong, dark, I'll put some heavy cream in it.
Yeah, I typically like black. That Dunkin' medium roast. Black all day.
It does not need
tastes
anything.
Great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The chicory blend, a little bit of heavy cream.
Okay,
it's fantastic.
I'd try anything, but
it's really, really good for you.
I'm cautious. I'm cautiously.
I think you'll like it.
I'm cautiously pessimistic.
I've got some stuff.
I got stuff.
I got lots of stuff.
Okay.
I was kind of scrolling through your list. Some things entertained me.
Yeah,
just reading them.
Some things I don't even know what they mean. Like I wrote "born on a Tuesday."
Yeah.
What does that mean? I felt very strongly. I remember when I wrote it. I was like, "Oh, I think I know what it was."
So for anybody who doesn't know, we have a shared
note file.
Yes.
In which we can see. I think I discovered that I was born on a Tuesday.
Okay. Did that change your life
and,
somehow?
I didn't know. Yeah. Do you know what day you were born on?
I have no idea.
I had a whole thing. It was a whole thing, but I don't know what it was. I don't even know if that means I was born on. It just says born on a Tuesday.
Stella was born on a Friday.
Yeah, I don't know what day my kids were born on.
All my kids were born on a Monday.
Except for, wait a minute. Did we just learn something about Stella?
She's not
Stella
my kid.
was born on a Friday. All my kids were born on Mondays. What?
No, because they were all C-section, and we scheduled them.
Monday's a good day for a C-section.
Well, I took the week off of work, so it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you could schedule delivery of your kids,
sure.
Why not on a Monday?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because then you get the Saturday, Sunday before it. You get the
What
whole
are we
week
talking
off,
about?
and then another Saturday, Sunday.
It's great for the husband.
Which in turn is better for the wife.
Is it?
I think so, probably.
I don't know.
You know, it's a mutual thing. So,
We
Go ahead.
do have to say something. One of the fans of the show, it's his birthday today, and so it's Terry's birthday. My father-in-law.
Okay, yeah.
And I text him today.
Yeah.
Because it's his birthday.
Uh-huh.
Well, I text him because Erica said, "Did you text my dad today?" And I said, "Why would I text your dad today? It's his birthday. You make sure to text him happy birthday."
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'll do it. So I texted him. I said, "I totally remembered it was your birthday."
Yeah.
On my own, and I am texting you without any provocation from your oldest daughter. Happy birthday. So happy birthday, Terry.
I'll text him. He texts me about once a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's more than
He just sent me a YouTube video to watch from the last show that we did about the tribulation.
Yeah.
And Revelations.
Yeah, because
turns out it's already happened.
Yeah, I told you were talking. When you were talking, I was like, I think I even said you're going to get a YouTube video from Terry.
And I did. I watched it.
What do you think?
I liked it.
Some
It was
good points.
It was very, very good.
Yeah.
I think that.
So are you still a pan guy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It'll all pan out in the end.
Right.
Does it matter? I don't know if it does.
I don't know. That's not why we exist as a podcast. It's to talk about end times.
Revelations.
Revelation.
Yeah. Dig into the Revelation.
Let's get it
I
done.
used to listen. Do you have a shortwave radio?
And
Do you know what that is?
radio.
No, there's AM, FM, and then
Yeah, I have AM,
shortwave.
FM.
Like you could pick stuff up in the Philippines.
No, I don't.
Like halfway across the
I don't
world.
have anything.
So about 10, 15 years ago, I bought one. And one of my favorite things to do is sit in the backyard, campfire, hammock, shortwave radio.
Just scroll through, see what
Just
you can
scroll
get.
through and find it. And in the Obama early years, late Bush years, early Obama years, is when I was hitting it hard.
With conspiracies.
Yeah. And I mean, 9/11 and Obama and Osama bin Laden. I mean, there was tons of stuff going on. And I tuned into a couple programs from overseas.
Programs might be overselling whatever you were listening to.
I don't know what it was.
A guy.
Yeah. It was a guy talking about Revelations. And it was fantastic.
Yeah.
And it was super weird and creepy and really far out there.
Yeah.
Turns out none of it was true because he had this whole thing how Mikhail Gorbachev was the king of the North. And this was.
Did you know that I don't know his name exactly, but Guinness, the guy that started Guinness beer, his like grandson or great grandson was super into like biblical numbers.
Okay.
And in the late 1800s, predicted solely based on his like study of like Daniel and Ezekiel, that the years 1917 and 1946, I think, would be banner years for the Jewish nation, which they like definitely were major things.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I don't know what to think about that.
I don't know.
But that's not why we came here. We came here to talk about that.
Well, thanks, Terry,
I was
for
born
sending
on a
that to me.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and happy birthday,
Happy
Terry.
birthday,
We hope that you have a great one.
I feel obligated to text him now.
Speaking of obligated, Jason.
And I probably will.
Well, you probably should. If Erica made sure that I did. So.
Hey, make sure your brother texts my dad.
Yeah. Well, let's ask our dad if Erica texted him on his birthday, because I'm betting the answer is no. Speaking of obligation, Jason.
Yeah.
So,
Wait, real quick before you get into that,
because I want to talk about obligations.
Okay,
so don't
before
forget the word
obligation,
obligation, because I'll get distracted.
we had a fabulous pre-show tonight.
Well, I mean, I hear good things, but I was not a part of it.
That's
so.
why I say it was fabulous.
Okay.
So Estelle, for the first time ever, was actually on camera.
Yeah.
And she sat in your seat, and we talked for an hour and 8 minutes.
That's longer than we're going to talk right now.
Because we're waiting for you for an hour and 8 minutes.
An obligation.
Yeah. So if you want to catch bonus of the pre-show, it's on Facebook.
Just go on Facebook Live.
It's on the Lauer Road page.
And you can watch you talking to your daughter.
It was basically just me talking. Yeah, and she responded a couple times.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Well, in it, I know what was born of it was the phrase "sleep loose," and so
we actually didn't talk about Sleep Loose.
Oh, you did?
Oh well, no, we closed with it.
You and I talked about it, I guess. Oh, so I don't think anything good came out of it.
Yeah,
obligations. So I am. I don't like obligations. I don't like a lot of the social constructs. Like, for instance, like I like the episode of Seinfeld where Kramer goes on the AIDS march, except he doesn't wear the ribbon. And so he's doing the walk, and the guy's like, "Where's your ribbon?" He's this Puerto Rican guy or whatever. How come you don't want to wear the ribbon? And he's like, "I'm going on the walk, man. I just don't want to wear the ribbon." You know what I mean? Like, I'm not wearing but I'm here. I'm supporting it. You know what I mean? Like, you think you're too good to wear. And so he's fighting this kind of like social, like, you got to do this kind of a thing. I remember when Tony Kornheiser was on Monday Night Football, there was a big deal with like a pin. They wanted him to wear a pin. He's like, "I'm not against the cause. I just don't like you telling me I have to wear it.
Right.
It doesn't mean anything."
Yes.
It's like, it's the same thing with what's his name? The guy, the soccer player for Crystal Palace.
Oh yeah.
Wilfred. Anyway.
Yeah.
He won't kneel down.
Right.
Because they want to honor. God only knows what they're trying to do, but he's like, it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
We're all doing it because
Zaha.
you're making us. Yeah. Wilson Zaha, I think is his name. And he said and he's a black guy, by the way.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is about racial equality.
He's like, this doesn't mean anything.
He's like, none of this means anything.
Right.
Only reason anyone's doing it is because you're making them do it.
Right.
So there are kind of like more obvious social obligations that are a little bit more in your face, like those kinds of things.
For instance, national anthem plays.
Okay.
You're at a baseball game.
Yes.
Do you stand up?
You stand up, you stop, you put your hand over
That's
your
your
heart,
obligation.
you take your hat off. Absolutely.
And you should.
Yeah.
Some obligations should be followed. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah. And some are
optional,
and some pass away over a period of time. And that's okay too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's times at which some I don't know, customs and things, like, it was a big deal that you not wear a hat inside or something.
Right.
So anyway, and some are more kind of unspoken. And here's the one that I want to talk about. So Erica and I don't like shopping. First of all, I dislike very much furniture shopping. In fact, in our whole lives, I don't think we've ever bought a piece of furniture. Mm-hmm. Furniture's only ever been like given to us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we don't, and but we're in a situation with our new place that we needed we really need a bigger kind of couch area. We're looking for a sectional.
Yeah.
So we went to every furniture store that we could, because I said, I don't want to just go out and buy the first thing. Let's look, find out what we really want, and then find who has it the best. So we're doing the whole thing.
Costco
didn't have what we needed. So anyway, we ended up at Value City Furniture.
Okay.
And they were running a special. It was
Mansfield?
what we wanted, Polaris.
Okay.
And, I don't know if you've been into a furniture store lately, but it's vultures.
Yeah.
The salesmen, they are just, and they know.
Yeah.
I mean, they're aware of the fact that that's what they do. And so different ones kind of handle it differently. Some are just very blatant.
Yeah.
They're just right there the whole time. Hey, what do you want to do? What we can, what am I going to do? What do I got to do to get you in this couch today? That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And some are more like, hey, just want to let you know we're here. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay. All right. And they're obviously all working off of commission.
Right.
So, so this guy comes up to us and we're looking at these two couches, and he was like, he first of all, he was like this the whole time. And I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah.
This was his look.
Just stone cold.
Just stone cold, like one eye kind of.
Like he might have a hangover.
He had a bit of that look.
Okay.
And he was like, I just want to let you guys know, I'm honest. I'm almost too honest. I'm like brutally honest, and I like to shop too. So if there's a better deal somewhere, I'm gonna let you know. But I am here to help. If you ever need anything, you just ask me. Wave me down. All right, thanks. Okay.
Can I guess his name?
Appreciate it. I don't remember his name.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, what do you
Dennis.
think? Yeah, it says Dennis. And so Dennis is doing this thing, and he's off in the distance, and just every once in a while I catch him, and he's like watching us. And so we do the loop of the store, and then we come back to the couch that we thought, this is the one. And so he does the whole thing, and we had a couple of questions. He answered our questions, And so we said, all right, this is the one we want to get. And so he said, okay. And in the process of him talking to us, I think he mentioned, I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say I think that he mentioned 5 times that he was in the Marines for 15 years.
Okay.
I feel a social pressure to
Thank you for
thank
your
him
service.
for his service. I didn't.
Yeah.
Am I thankful for,
We don't even know he actually served.
Yeah.
There's no proof
he had a
of
lot
that.
of tattoos. So, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
Am I thankful for our servicemen and women?
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yes.
I am.
First responders.
Yeah.
Police, fire.
All of them.
EMS.
Every single veteran of every war, even the bad ones, I'm thankful for, because there's a sacrificial element to
Yes.
that,
Yes.
But I don't like the pressure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially because the guy pointed out to us. I don't know
Yes.
what he was trying to do. Trying to make me think like, oh, this guy's a Marine, I want to give him the commission. I don't know. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It doesn't. I just want the best deal on a couch. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if you served in the Marines,
Yeah.
Greenpeace,
Yeah.
if you were in a traveling circus. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care. I just want the best deal on this
Anytime
couch.
I hear someone say that they served in armed forces, I always want to say, so what's the deal on UFOs? Like, come on, just tell me. Like,
So I felt this, maybe because you mentioned it like 4 or 5 times, but I felt this obligation, like this voice in my, you should tell him thank you for his service.
Yeah.
But I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Is that wrong?
No,
No?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Some people,
This guy wanted it.
that's the problem. That's what I was going to say. Some people, they float it out there, and they're floating it to get a compliment, right?
Now, let me just stop, Jason. Let me just stop. We are wading into dangerous waters. Okay?
Well, I'm not just talking about military.
Well,
I'm talking about like, do you like this new shirt I bought?
Okay, we can make fun of those people, but what I'm saying is, like, and I'm with you. I'm not saying I disagree with you. I'm just
Anybody
saying,
who floats things
I'm
out
just
there
saying-
for a compliment, I'm not doing it.
What about the guy that only now I feel
Now listen.
what about, let me just
Go, okay.
I'm awkward saying this.
Okay.
But what about the guy that only wears the Vietnam veteran hat? Like, everywhere he goes, he wears a hat that
I like
says,
that.
I'm a Vietnam
I totally,
veteran.
yeah, I would if I was in
You
Vietnam.
don't think that guy's fishing for it?
No,
Okay.
he's proud.
proud.
Listen,
Mm-hmm.
because okay, here's a massive difference. A lot of those guys were drafted.
Yeah.
That's a whole different story.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody today, every single one of them chose to do it.
Yeah.
And I think some people, they want to be thanked because look what I chose to do. The guy wearing the Vietnam hat, he was drafted.
Yeah.
But he's proud of, he served his country. He was called upon and served valiantly.
So let's say you were.
I will thank the guy wearing a Vietnam hat.
You'll thank him.
Yes.
Speaking of Caleb Atha, I said his whole name. I don't know why, but we said him earlier. He's.
We didn't say his last name. But
Yeah, but now everybody knows. He's the one that.
One kid said good night.
And he said, sleep loose.
Sleep loose.
Instead of sleep tight.
Yeah.
Which I kind of like. I don't want to sleep tight. I want to sleep loose, So, but Caleb, good young man. He's 14 years old, and we go to the same church, and he was at the door, and there was a person that no one had ever seen before, older guy with a Vietnam hat, and
Yeah.
he said, thank you for your service. Like, on his own.
Yeah.
I was like, there's a quality young man right there. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that, but here's my thing, and you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know unless you're
Right.
in it. But I feel like if I was like a football game,
Yeah.
and over the loudspeaker they say, we appreciate all of our veterans of blah 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 blah. If you were a veteran of the armed forces, would you please stand up now so
Yes.
we can acknowledge you? I don't think I would stand up. Would you?
Maybe.
For me, there's a tension there because part of me is like, I believe in this and I want people to know that there are actually people out there
Right.
that have, that this is a real thing. I'm a real person and there are other people like that. So I guess I would stand up and like I said, it's impossible to know because God knows I would never go. I mean, I'd be awful in war. I would
would be.
in a corner crying,
Yeah.
holding my gun,
Yeah.
saying, who do I have to pledge allegiance to?
Right.
like
get out of
to
this.
get out of it. I don't want
You'd have a white flag.
I just, immediately. So admittedly, that's me. You know what I mean? But maybe if I had been in it and if I was in it, there would be a sense of camaraderie with the men and women that are doing it now that I like owe it to them to be like the representative for the one that's out there right now.
I think if you either was forced to serve or for whatever reason chose to serve, which I don't see that happening.
No, I would never do that. No.
I could see you volunteering to be a cook.
Yeah.
I think that's the way to go. I've thought about this. I've thought about telling my kids this. Listen, it's a good career choice. Instead of being on the front lines, go the culinary route.
Yeah.
You can cook for 1,000 people 3 times a day.
Not a bad gig.
It's really not a bad gig.
I was this close to becoming an army chaplain at one point.
I actually looked about that too. Yeah. It's a lot of work.
Turns out.
Yeah, you got to really do stuff.
I thought you could just kind of stay at the camp and like read a Bible and then people would like, you know what I mean, come to you and ask questions and stuff.
It's an awful job.
I was just thinking of the guy on MASH. What was his name?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the picture that I had.
Yeah.
I thought I could
occasionally get in a
guy.
poker game. And
and you have some wise words of wisdom.
Yeah.
You pray over somebody or something,
No.
I don't know.
It's an awful job.
I thought it'd be a good gig, but turns out it might even be harder than some of the other ones.
Yeah.
Because you got to be like in the thick of it where people are dying.
People are dealing with real PTSD.
Yeah.
And
you got to
during it. And
Yeah. So anyway, the last thing that I want.
Obligations.
The last thing that I want to communicate is that I'm not thankful because I'm extremely thankful.
Yeah.
But for that guy in that moment who went out of his way 5 or 6 times to mention, I was in the Marines for 15 years. I don't know. There's something about that is just like it feels like he was asking for it or something.
Yeah, I don't
Or he
care.
was using it as a sales
If you're floating
technique.
it out there, whatever it is, if you're floating it out there for a compliment, I'm not giving it to you.
Yeah.
Now, if you deserve a compliment for whatever reason, I'm more than happy to give that to you. Someone holds the door. Thank you. Right? You respond. Thank you very much. Yeah. Is that your first thing?
Yeah.
Is there more to that?
No, it's just the obligation. I just wanted to know, and I feel better about it. I feel like I could, like I think it's a good thing for me. It's just good to process this, to think this out loud. I think I'll be more apt in the future if I see the dude with the hat to say thank you for your service.
I think it's important. I think
it makes me feel awkward.
Well, here's the thing. For him wearing it, I think he deserves it. And he's not talking about it.
He's just wearing it.
He's just proud of what he did.
Yeah.
Which I think is honorable. It's an honorable thing.
Yeah.
So,
what if you saw a guy with like a Civil War veteran hat? You'd be like, I don't know.
Be a little skeptical.
Yeah.
But maybe it was his grandpa's hat. Could be. Thank your grandpa for for his service.
I don't think there's anyone alive whose grandpa fought in the Civil War.
I bet so.
Like if you're 100 years old, then you were born in 1921, and your grandpa fought in 1870 something.
Yeah, absolutely. That's only 50 years before that.
Okay, I guess that's possible.
Yeah.
Boy, that's crazy to think about. That there's somebody alive
whose grandpa fought in the Civil War.
fought in the Civil
I'm
War.
sure of it.
Do you think there's someone alive whose dad fought in the Civil War?
Boy, that.
And if you're 100, and
you had to be 50.
50. I mean, it's possible that a man that was 50.
Not likely. It's possible.
But probably definitely a grandson. That's weird to think about. Because the Civil War seems like such ancient, like Abraham Lincoln. I mean, it might as well be like Moses. You know what I mean? Like you just.
It was a couple generations.
It feels like forever ago.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty wild.
Wild and crazy stuff. That's what we're about at LauerRoadRadio.
I got another wild and crazy thing.
What do you got?
When I was in elementary school, I've got 2 stories.
Okay.
One, I was convinced that if I got stabbed by number 2 pencil, I would die.
Yeah.
Lead poisoning.
Yeah.
It was a thing.
Yeah.
We were terrified of lead.
I knew a kid that stuck lead in his hand, and he had a lead hit that was in it. I was like, that kid's dead, 100%.
100% dead.
Yeah.
Lead poisoning. Stella, did you think that too? Yeah. Yeah, it's a thing, right?
Yeah.
Turns out I don't think they even use lead in pencils.
It's graphite.
Yeah.
It's actually good for you to stab.
The kids are gnawing on pencils now. builds up their immune
No,
system.
I definitely thought that.
I was convinced of it. And I was just wondering if it still was around today, and apparently it is.
And I guess they still use lead pencils. That's a big surprise for me.
Number 2,
that
lead
was all
pencil.
on beep, bop, boop, bop, doodads.
Well, she uses colored pencils, right? You use colored pencils. Here's another thing. That was a side thought. This is the one I really want to get to.
Oh, okay.
I had 2 thoughts from elementary school.
I'm glad I'm sitting down.
The first one.
Can I say I loved elementary school?
Yeah, you can say it.
I loved elementary
You remember
school.
Howie's?
Howie's?
Yeah.
Howie's.
It was a system
Yeah.
that you were awarded
That was
these
third grade.
tokens.
That was only third grade.
Yeah.
Though. Yeah. You got bottle caps, and they were spray painted different colors. And every once in a while, you'd get one that was a beer bottle cap because you could smell the bottom of it, and it still smelled like beer.
So in third grade, there was this year-long thing that if you did good things, you held the door for the class, or you volunteered.
I remember they're called Howie's, but
They're called Howie's.
Bottle caps. There was like yellow,
like real glass bottle.
Yeah,
caps.
because back then people drank that. It was like red, yellow, blue, gold.
Yeah, like gold was
silver.
like 500.
Yeah, gold was like 500.
Or 50, 100.
And then you
500.
had them at the end of the year, and there was a store, and everybody brought stuff.
Yeah, it was just
your mom made cookies. I remember one girl in our class was really good at drawing, and she drew pictures of Bart Simpson. And
did you buy one?
No, because I didn't want my parents to know I liked The Simpsons, which I would try to watch whenever I could when they weren't paying
My
attention.
teacher, right before the store, came up to me and said, "You have been excellent this year,
Mrs. Keene."
Yes, and she slid me an extra 500.
What?
Yeah.
That's outrageous.
I felt pretty good.
That's wow.
I think it was just me and one other kid.
That's what you think. Who can I guess who the other kid was?
Yeah. It was a female. Initials KR.
Oh. Chris. I don't know.
I think it was Kara Reynolds.
Kara Reynolds.
I think she got another 500.
I think Miss Keene was doing this for a lot of kids.
Every kid in the class.
Like, hey,
don't tell anybody. Here's an extra 500. It was basically a junk store.
Mrs. Ballinger
Yeah.
was my teacher.
You did not get an extra 500.
I got all the 500s. Mrs. Ballinger loved me. And
except when you decided to sneeze in class.
yes, because I sneezed loudly. Because my thought when I was a kid is like, if you sneeze, let's make it a good one.
Get it out.
And and I'd scream the sneeze. I remember one day we all the kids walked in from recess, third grade, Mrs. Ballinger's class. Mrs. Ballinger, best teacher I ever had, by the way. And she was ticked off. I mean, she was mad. And she told us all to sit down.
What happened?
She's just steaming, and she's walking back and forth, and she goes to the chalkboard, and she starts writing, and she writes one big word. The word is beeswax. She didn't like that word. She's like, "What is this? Why do people keep on saying this? This is ridiculous. It makes you look idiotic." You know what I mean? And
Mind your own beeswax.
Yeah, she did not like that. And so she wanted to make it loud and clear in big, bold letters that we are not to say beeswax.
Really?
She did not like beeswax.
That wasn't a put on? It wasn't like a comedy bit?
And we were all... She didn't like beeswax.
Huh.
Also in Mrs. Ballinger's class, I read the book Chocolate Touch. Do you remember that book?
Absolutely.
It's fashioned after the old
Midas touch
myth, in which everything he touched turned to gold. It was about a kid who everything he touched turned to chocolate.
Yeah.
And they let us, while we read the book in class, eat chocolate. So we had a Hershey bar. We were eating it. And as a result, the same book that these third graders have been using for the last 10 years.
Covered in chocolate.
Every page has 100 chocolate fingerprints on it. I mean, the books reeked of chocolate. But, third grade, Miss Ballinger's class. We used to do arm wrestling contests when recess got rained out.
Indoor recess.
And we'd do indoor recess. Yeah. So you play games, and all the boys would do arm wrestling contests. And Justin Gruber usually won.
Well, he lived on a farm.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he had a bicep when he was like in the 3rd grade. I mean, it was like a serious thing, you know.
Yeah.
And so Justin would beat everybody.
Yeah.
You know, even the fat kids. He'd beat even the fat kids. And but the winner of the arm wrestling contest,
Mrs. Ballinger,
got to arm wrestle Mrs. Ballinger,
Yeah.
and she was undefeated. She crushed every time because we're like, Justin's the strongest person we know. There's no way that Justin could lose to a woman, and she's just like, boom, and she just crushed him. Justin would just start crying, you know.
Yeah.
And she was like, "That's right. You take that with
Mind
your
your own
beeswax." I don't think she did all the gloating, but she definitely beat him every time. She was undefeated.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. So here's another elementary. I think it was actually 3rd grade. There was a kid. I think it was Chris Cadill. He had a pencil sharpener in his desk, and it was the kind that it had the pencil sharpener and then a clear plastic tube that snaps
I would
on top.
never want a pencil sharpener in my desk. That's awful.
Well, you want to get up and
Because you want a reason to get up.
Listen, I get this.
I need a reason to get up in class.
Yeah. Work my way over to the pencils. I gotta sharpen my pencil, right?
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
But he had
T.J.
one.
Smith would stand up in class and walk over to the tissues
Yeah.
and would blow his nose in a way that I had never heard. I know someone could blow their nose like that
Impressive,
I don't know, 10
yeah.
times a day.
Yeah.
It was just like I could literally hear
The mucus.
the
Yeah.
the pockets of snot slamming against the tissue. Fa-boom, fa-boom, fa-boom. You know, as he's blowing, it's like, oh gosh.
Yeah, for me that was Shan Housekeeper. I remember in English class, he blew his nose and you could hear it,
Yeah.
thud.
Just wads of
And
snot.
I remember him opening it up
Yeah,
and
and
seeing
it's
it. I'm like, oh,
why are you doing that?
don't show me. Just throw it away. And it was a massive, I've never seen that much mucus.
Yeah.
Chris Cadill had this pencil sharpener. It
Is clear.
was clear on top. And he had a class pet. He trapped a fly. And he caught it in this pencil
Oh, that's
sharpener.
nice.
Okay?
I like that.
This was pretty exciting. I mean,
It's very exciting.
all afternoon, it was like,
It's a big day.
and like the teacher didn't know about it.
Of course.
The rest of us knew about it. And he's like showing it to everybody. Yeah. Hey, look what I got. You know, everybody's like, hey, dude, Chris has got a fly.
Yeah.
And he got tired of it being a fly. Decided he pinned it down as he took it out of the pencil sharpener and slowly plucked off the wings.
Oh.
So now it was a fly without wings.
And it crawled around?
And it just crawled
Oh,
around.
that's exciting.
So it was a flyless
It's a bit
fly.
sadistic. One might wonder where Chris Cadill is today.
I actually think he's doing okay.
Good. Thanks to
His
Chris.
kids play baseball. They're very successful. His
Okay,
wife's
well-
a teacher at the local elementary.
Oh, well, things are good. Thanks to him and his brother,
Yeah.
I got to see all the Jean-Claude Van Damme movies,
And Bloodsport.
which is another Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. But yeah,
Double take?
Double Take was one.
Yeah.
Lionheart was my
Oh,
favorite.
come on.
I was a huge Lionheart fan.
Is that the underground fighting ring?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he it's like a video game. He keeps on like leveling up.
Yeah.
One time he's fighting at like a tennis court, and then he's fighting like underground
In a parking
somewhere.
garage.
And then there's
Yeah.
like this really rich person's house, and they're fighting in the pool that's been emptied out.
Yeah.
You know?
It was a big thing.
Lionheart. I've not seen it in a few years, but I'll bet it holds up. I mean, that was a
seriously
quality.
doubt it.
That
seriously doubt it.
was a quality movie. And Jean-Claude Van Damme's always going to do the splits at some point
Because he can.
because he can. And so thanks to the Cadills, I saw all of the Jean-Claude Van Damme movies.
And probably a couple
So,
things you probably shouldn't have seen.
in those movies
Yeah.
and other things. Yeah.
Yeah. So Chris Cadill turned a fly into a walk. Mm-hmm. It was pretty exciting. So I had some flashback elementary. I'm watching my kids in a whole new light. They're saying and doing things.
So you started watching your kids then?
Yeah. Turns out I have a few.
I guess I should have been done.
I've been showing this the whole time. No. I got guilty because my daughter's leaving for college, and I'm like, I don't even remember talking to her
And the
ever.
cats and the cradle.
I know.
I mean, part of that was her choice, though. You know what
I mean, she locks herself in a room for weeks at a time.
Yeah.
I can just do what I can do. If I knock on the door, she's not answering.
No,
so,
she's just quiet.
Maybe he won't know that I'm here.
Yeah. The Netflix suggestion of the week. I've not been watching much television, or as our grandpa called it,
The idiot box.
the idiot box.
Netflix, watch these shows with us. Netflix, or maybe Hulu Plus. Netflix, watch these shows with us. Netflix, or maybe Hulu Plus. Or maybe Amazon Prime or something like that, like YouTube. Or we don't want to put a box around what you watch, so you never know.
Jason, what is your Netflix suggestion of the week?
Mine is called Making a Murderer. Season 1 was done many years ago.
Yeah.
It was a Netflix. Have you seen it?
No, it was a big deal.
It was a big deal.
People loved it.
Well, they released a season 2. And so season 1 is the story of a guy named Steve Avery who was incarcerated for killing someone.
Wasn't Steve Avery a pitcher for the Braves in the 90s?
I think so.
Okay.
And not the same Steve Avery.
Oh, that would have been exciting.
Different guy.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, this guy was locked up because they thought that he killed someone. And they pinned it on him. There was a lot of reasonable cause. And 18 years later, DNA evidence proved that he was innocent.
He was in jail for 18 years?
Yeah.
Yikes.
And it turns out that they actually caught the guy who confessed to killing this other guy, and they did some DNA, and they proved it. They found it. He was released.
Yikes.
So this guy's out for a short period of time. Spoke very poorly of the sheriff's department, who pinned this murder on him.
Understandable.
And this whole time he's claiming he's innocent.
I would be upset if I was
absolutely
falsely imprisoned for 18 minutes, let alone 18 years.
He goes to sue the local police department.
Okay.
For $18 million.
$1 million a year?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
And I think it was going to turn out to be $36 million. It was 18 a year for a year in prison, and then 18 for damages.
Okay.
So $36 million. This local police department can't pay that.
Yeah.
The insurance company's not going to want to pay it. And everybody told him, you need to be careful because they're going to get you. They pin another murder on him. He gets sent off to jail for a second murder. He had only been out for a short period of time.
Yeah.
And murder happens on his property.
Yeah.
There's it's called the Avery Auto.
Where is this?
Wisconsin.
That makes a lot of sense.
So in this process, he gets pinned down, sent off to prison. He's now been in prison for another 13 years, I think it is. And he's in the process of trying to get free from this too. He's sentenced life in jail at this point.
And he says he's innocent.
Yeah, and I believe him.
Really?
Listen, I've watched it. So I'm halfway through season 2.
You gonna find out? And I mean,
I don't know. At the end of season 2, at the end of season 1, they show you all the stuff that's happening. And man, I think he's innocent. I really do. I really think the cops planted evidence, which is horrible to say. But man, it's tough. And this guy, I mean, he's had an awful go at it. I mean, it's been 18 years in jail for something that he didn't do. He gets out trying to reconcile his life and then gets sent right back. I don't think he did it.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. So season 2 is a lot
Making Murderer.
Making a Murderer.
2.
Yeah. Turns out season 2 is a lot more legal stuff because they're trying to go through the process of constitutional rights. The amount of appeal court, Seventh Circuit of Appeals and all this other, the layers of the court system is crazy.
Yeah. And
you have to take it up. If you get denied, you have to take it up to a different one, and you have to file certain paperwork and all this stuff. And so it's a wild ride.
Yeah.
But he's working his way up through it.
Wow.
So it's fascinating. If you're into crime stuff and legal stuff, it's a really good watch.
Okay.
Some of the stuff that he's accused of is graphic.
So don't watch it around the kids.
I wouldn't watch it with the kids.
Okay.
Like, it's not crazy. They don't show anything, but the descriptions of it is kind of graphic.
My Netflix suggestion of the week is the newest season of Alone. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Just dropped within the last month or so. So I watched 2 episodes the other day. I'm about halfway through. And this is when they have to make it through 100 days.
Okay.
Before they get paid. So if everybody quits before 100 days, nobody gets paid.
Okay.
But if you make it 100 days and then you end up lasting longest, you get $1 million.
What if 3 people last 100 days?
Then it's whoever's made it the longest.
Okay. How much?
$1 million.
Oh, okay.
So in the past, it's been, I think, 500,000. So I think they doubled it. It's in the Arctic Circle in Canada. So it's going to get cold. So where I'm at in the...
Is it actually live?
No.
It's just film.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like something that Netflix is doing. They do like a little post show where this guy like interviews people that were on the episode. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I mean, because now I know they're alive. You know what I mean?
A bear could have eaten them.
Yes.
It takes away from
totally
that.
takes away all of the enjoyment from me. You know what I mean? But no, I just don't like that part of it.
Yeah.
I wish I don't need that.
It should be a separate show.
Exactly, Jason.
Yes.
So I'm at the point of the season where the water's not frozen over yet, but it's starting to get real cold.
And how many days in are they?
And I think we're about 40, 50 days in, something like that.
Okay.
And there's been a few people that have dropped out already for different reasons. I think we're down to 6 or 7 people. But this is the rubber's about ready to meet the road because it's going to get cold. Fishing's going to be harder, all that sort of stuff. There's a dude that shot a musk ox with an arrow, killed the thing.
Yeah.
And now he's putting the meat away in a way that wolverines can't get to it.
Yeah.
So it's super captivating. I love Alone. It's really good. And I think everybody should watch it.
Yeah. I'm still fascinated with the idea that I think I could do it.
Well, your theory is that you would spend months preparing by just eating peanut butter.
I would go the bear hibernation route.
You'd come in 300 pounds.
Yes.
And then when you get there, you give yourself some sort of shelter where you could have some fire to stay
Shelter
warm.
and fire.
And then you just settle down and be like, I'm going to live off of this fat
sleep it out
for years.
All you need is clean water.
Yeah.
If you weighed 300 pounds, you did normal exercise. I mean, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, just active, move, sleep a lot, clean water, shelter, fire.
Yeah.
I think I could go 6 months.
You probably could.
I don't think it'd be healthy.
No, it'd be really bad on your
But
system.
$1 million at the end of the day, would you go 6 months without eating food, knowing that you could have $1 million?
I could prepare for it like I could get fat beforehand.
Yeah.
6 months is a long time.
I would. I totally would.
I mean, you could die.
Yeah.
Because more than just dying because you're so skinny, but your organs and that sort of thing, like things could happen to your body.
Yeah. I think if you're drinking lots of water, it has minerals and stuff in it.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And exercising, moving, your body's still working.
6 months is a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a long time. I mean,
I'd give it a go.
Yeah.
I'd try.
I know people that have done 40-day fasts. And I mean, they're pretty limping out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's hard.
Yeah. But you're also living life, right? They're going to work. They're doing stuff.
You're saying you just hunker down.
Yeah. Dude, I'm just going to sleep this thing out.
Mm-hmm.
I've laid on my couch. When the wife and kids go to Nashville for a week, I don't leave the couch.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It is. It flows very nicely into, I had a would you rather come up the other day in my head.
Yeah.
Would you rather be a morbidly obese free person or a super fit slave?
What's my slave life?
Slave life. Your slave life is
like am I in a Siberian gulag or something?
Oh, sure.
Or am I like in a tropical area?
I think when you say to the modern person, when you think slavery, you think of the South in America.
Okay.
So let's go with that. Okay. So so if you're married or have kids, those have been ripped from you. Yeah. Like you don't have any, you know what I mean? So you don't get that.
Okay.
It's forced labor, probably
18 hours a day, 7 days a week.
6 to 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And you're beholden to obviously this.
Or
a morbidly obese. And when I say I mean morbidly
like 600
obese.
pounds.
Yeah, like someone has to do everything for you.
Oh man.
Because both, I would say, are a form of slavery.
I was just going to say that. They both have their own, you're a slave to something. Because you can't do it. You can't live. If you're 6, 7, 800 pounds, you cannot live life by yourself.
Yeah.
You have to rely on other people. I don't like that.
Yeah. I mean, versus a slave with just a 6-pack. You know what I mean? You're just
The problem, the family thing for me is the big one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, but even as a morbidly obese person, 600, 700, 800 pounds, are you even enjoying your family if you have one?
Right. I mean, I guess you could say, well, I'll take the morbidly obese thing because then I'll lose the weight. You know,
maybe.
But there's a reason you got to where you are.
Yeah.
So, you know,
like if I have to live the rest of my days as one or the other,
that's a tough one.
It is a tough one. Maybe slave.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be tough.
Yeah. It's why it's a would you rather question, Jason.
It's a tough one.
When we were when the kids were little, we used to do that a lot. We'd come up with would you rather's on road trips, you know. Yeah. And Abby never quite got the concept of it when she was real little, and she was like, "Okay, I got one. All right.
Yeah.
Would you rather have $1 million or be attacked by a tiger?" And we're like, I think I'd rather do the $1 million. Me too. Yeah,
that's pretty funny.
That's usually it. So you're gonna take the slave life? That's interesting.
It's a toss-up. Okay, so a little bit ago, I went to Harrison's baseball game. He is in tournaments. If he won tonight, he was going to play again tomorrow. And I was kind of secretly hoping he'd lose. Yeah, because I'm kind of done with baseball this year. But turns out he won. But something happened tonight that made me laugh out loud. Harrison's on deck. The kid up to bat is very large.
Okay.
Big fat kid.
All right. Every baseball team needs one.
This team has like 3. This is one of the 3 big fat kids.
Okay.
I mean, he's big. He's bigger than you.
Just to give people some context, this is a Marion City League, so
12, 13, 14 years old. He's big.
Yeah, if we're running the percentages, that works out. That there's 3 of those kids on your team. So.
Yeah, it's 3 out of 10. 30% are obese of the 12-year-olds in Marion.
Hey, I'm proud to announce that if I lose 10 more pounds,
you're not obese.
I won't be obese.
Okay, you'll just be fat.
I can be fat if I just lose 10 pounds.
Yeah,
man,
I'm excited.
I would just love to be.
It's
fat.
gonna be a good day.
I mean, and then I'll be fat.
Will you celebrate by like eating something?
Probably.
Yeah.
So
big
fat kids up to bat.
There's 2 or 3 kids on base.
Is he a good fat kid?
No.
Okay. Because there's that exist.
Not on this team.
Okay.
All the 3 fat kids are not good.
All right.
Their swing is slow and late.
I'll bet they're really good at Fortnite.
I'm sure. I'm sure of it. All those kids probably are. So there's 2 kids on base, and there's no outs, and they're scoring some runs. It looks like they're going to win the game, but you need every run. You're not looking for outs. You're looking for runs. This kid, fat kid, chubby kid, can't move, can't run, can't swing the bat, is up at the plate. Pitcher's pretty good. Throwing some heat.
Yeah.
I mean, really getting some heat in there. Throws one in, thud, hits him right in the side.
Yeah.
His own dugout erupts with applause.
Yeah.
And cheering.
Well, he's getting on base. Yeah, that's something to be happy about.
I laughed out loud because the eruption of cheerful, like this fat kid didn't get out. He gets out every time he goes up.
And they're like, yeah.
He's never gotten a hit. He's gotten hit a few times
because
he
more
can't
likely
get out of the
to
way.
get hit.
There's more surface area, and he can't move as quick.
It's like, say, you couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. There's a reason
they could hit him. Yeah. But the eruption of cheering and applause from his own teammates that he got hit made me laugh.
We had a kid on our baseball team who got hit in the face with a ball once.
Yeah, Wes.
I mean, in the face. And there was so much blood.
Yeah.
I mean, his nose.
Yeah, I think it hit him in the nose.
Yeah, his nose was just gushing blood, just a crazy amount of blood.
Yeah.
And there's this.
We're 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, and Hardin, it's old enough where the kids can actually throw some speed.
Yeah.
But they just don't have a ton of control. So, I mean, damage, actual damage here. And there's this silence over the crowd, just like everybody's
kid's on the ground, blood's
and
everywhere.
He's crying, and there's blood coming everywhere, and the coach is over there, and they're trying to like figure out what's going on, and he's holding his face and all sorts of stuff, and you could hear a pin drop. You know, and it was super tense. And then his mom, just from the crowd, in the stands, just as loud as you want. Just was like, "Walk it off, Wes! Walk it off!" At which point, our dugout erupted in laughter.
Yeah,
because
you walk off a fastball to the
walk
face.
off a bloody nose. I don't think you do that. So poor Wes. He never made contact again.
Yeah.
For the rest of this season.
That was it.
He just stood in the back of the batter's box. 1, 2, 3. I'm out.
Yep.
He swung every time. Wasn't trying to hit it.
No,
he was
trying
just
to
trying to get out of there.
Yeah.
Out of there to the
3
dugout.
pitches, I'm gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I got stuff to talk about, but we're out
we
of
got
time.
like 1 minute.
Oh, we got 1 minute.
60 seconds.
We could talk about. No, there's too much good stuff there.
I've got this whole thing on a Mount Rushmore of small town living.
Oh no, we don't have enough time to do that.
Okay, listen.
That's a whole episode for me.
I wanted to lead with it and I forgot.
Well, I could talk about how I've seen Erica spit. Probably in our marriage. This year it'll be 20 years.
Okay.
I maybe seen her spit 50 times.
Okay.
Awful. She's the worst spitter in the world.
Can't spit.
It just immediately just falls down. You know what I mean? I'm like, what are you doing? You're the worst spitter I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it's stuck, and there's like a, this is
Are
awful.
you saving that for another time? Is that?
I just a thing that I saw and I noticed, and I just want to talk about the fact that I'm married to a wonderful woman, got a lot of great qualities.
Just can't spit.
She's an awful spitter, just a horrible spitter.
There's a technique involved.
Yeah, of course there's a technique.
Yeah.
I'm not. Listen, there are better. There are better, but I'm a pretty good spitter.
If you got a little bit of mucus in it, man, you can.
Come on,
really,
yeah. What are we talking about?
That's where it's really.
All right, this is Dan signing off for Jason, reminding you to always keep your stick on the ice and never wear the blue sweats.
Sit, Bubba, sit. Good dog.
I have spoken.
Next week.
Sleep loose. What's next week?
Good night. I was good. Small town of Mount Rushmore, small town. It's a
Okay.
tease.
All right.
That's what we're doing.
Trail of Broken Promises.
Good night. Sleep loose. Sometimes it takes a while for it to